Hi, this is Paula Johnston here with Real Estate One, the Linda Rea Team.
I am Hollie Gyarmati with HG Makeovers Interior Design.
And we are offering you our helpful hints how to make your house a home.
So our topic for today is lighting and
temperature.
Ooh, talk to me about temperature.
Ooh, oh my goodness. I think, we want our clients, we want you to feel comfortable in your space always. And I think one thing that people just overlook is temperature. Temperature impacts everything. If it's too hot, if it's too cold, so I think having the temperature at a comfortable setting for the time of year, and especially at night when you sleep, is really important in feeling comfortable in your space.
So what is the average you think it should be when you're sleeping?
I think the cooler you can go, I think the better the sleep quality is. So I really think 66 or 67, 68 at the highest.
Okay, great. Big difference. It is a huge difference.
Yeah.
So what about during the day when you're up moving around and you're kind of like everywhere in the house?
Oh, if you're active, if it's just based off of you, think about, if you're sitting and working, you're going to want it a little warmer, so maybe 70 degrees. But if you're active and moving around, then probably 68 or 69 is a good temperature.
So if people are showing their home, where should they do that? Because you want people to stay, you want them to feel warm and toasty, but not too warm and toasty.
Honestly, I mean, if it's not in the middle of summer, right?
Yeah.
I think a good temperature is really like a little on the warmer side. So maybe 70, 71. I think there's nothing like worse than walking into a space and freezing.
Yeah, absolutely.
One example, I mean, this happens all the time. I know you're gonna relate to this. Michigan restaurant bathrooms.
Oh, they're always
in the winter.
freezing.
In the winter. I mean, so use that as your guide, Michiganders.
It's always
There's nothing worse than freezing.
Absolutely, because you want people to feel welcome and you want them to want to stay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the summer, because this is a real big thing for me when I'm showing houses. Oh my God, turn up the AC, because you want them to, again, stay and enjoy and take time to open the cupboards, think of themselves being visually in that home and walking through, because that's what you do when you walk people through, is you're opening cupboards and closets. And actually sometimes I have to sit down and say, do you like this space? Does this space work? Because it might be something different than what they told me. And then all of a sudden they're like, you know what? I do like this more open concept, or no, I don't like it. But it gives them a little bit more to go by. So it's kind of a nice thing to keep the temperature good. And let's now flip over to the lighting, because the lighting is a big one for me.
Yeah, lighting, having lighting in the room that's not too bright. The number one tip I give to every design client is, if you have the opportunity, you might need an electrician, or if you're handy enough to do it, put dimmer switches on every circuit. I think being able to control your light, whether it's dim or high, throughout the day is fantastic.
It changes the mood in the room.
It does.
There's times when you're cooking, you want it bright and you want to be able to see everything, but then as you have dinner, you want to kind of calm it down so it's actually more of a relaxing atmosphere. So the dim switches are huge. I think that's a great idea.
And also, when you're purchasing lighting, keep in mind where the light is going to shine from that fixture. I made a mistake here. I was, I'm an experienced interior designer, and like 5 years ago, I bought a chandelier for my breakfast nook. And the one thing I didn't think about is beautiful, perfect, loved it, but the shades, everything, all the light was focused down at the table.
Oh, so
I kid you not. We turned the light on, and I had a dimmer switch. I'm like, this is great. I was probably too focused on the style, right?
You love the light.
I love the. But what happened is, my whole family, we sit down to eat, and I'm like, Kate, do the mood lighting, and she turns the light on and adjusts, and all of a sudden, it felt like we were in an interrogation room. Because the light was just shining right down on us. Yeah, and so that was like, that was something I learned on my own, but really I'm always focused on what direction is the light shining? Do you have cathedral ceilings? Do you want to illuminate the ceiling? I think it's great if the light can be a little more ambient and shine from all directions, but that's something to pay attention to.
And that's something you notice, you go into a house, and I'm really big on that when I'm looking at the homes for my clients, is we have a lot of gray, so we've got to have sometimes it's bright, but that to make that mood switch to go up and down makes a big difference, especially if you're in a family room, or you're going to have a lot of people watching TV, or just kind of getting together as a gathered room. It really sets the tone.
And different types of lighting in each space, I think, is fantastic. I think it's almost, if you think of lighting as layers of light.
Oh.
So a lot of homes have a lot of homes will have can lights in the ceiling, say a kitchen, for instance. But then they'll have pendants, the more decorative lighting, over the island. They might have a different fixture over the sink. They might have under the counter lighting under the cabinets, and those should all be on different circuits so that you can control and layer your light as needed for the time of year, for your mood, the time of day. I think having more control over your light really gives you the power to feel better in your space.
And you can make it your own, because then you got the strips now too that you can, with the control, you can make it whatever color you want. Those are really nice. Or just keep it light, keep it white, whatever is safe that you feel good. I know I change my cabinet lighting all the time just because it's the mood, or the flowers that I put in the room. It does, and that's what makes your house a home. Thanks for tuning in.